Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for joining me on Real Talk NFT. And we have a really special guest here for you today. We have my guy, Ian Feiner. He's the CEO and founder of Freckle TV. It's a Web3-centric daily trivia platform. It's absolutely tons of fun. Ian, thanks for joining us. Super happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. You know, when you hit me up, I wasn't sure what it was about, right? But because everything moves so fast, and this was actually super exciting and kind of caught me off guard, and I'm happy to be here and stoked to do it.
Yeah, just a little background for everyone. Ian and I have known each other for, well over a year, trying to put some things together when I worked for DraftKings. I'm a huge fan of his. He's a big brain in the Web3 space and just absolutely crushes it with this daily trivia at Freckle. Ian, give me a little background. Give me a breakdown of, your past experience and how you got into Freckle daily trivia.
Yeah, so, with Freckle, we set out to create the first interactive rewards-backed game show platform, essentially a place where you can go and participate in games with other players all around the world, and win prizes from brands that are partnering and sponsoring the show. And that was really the ideology and the thesis behind starting the company. My background, though, is in entertainment. So I was in Los Angeles for a decade or so, and I started a really small production company, like a tiny shop, like me and two other guys. Like we were doing everything ourselves, shooting, editing, directing. And then that grew into a massive organization. We had 30 full-time employees. We had offices in New York, LA, Miami. We had a satellite office in London for all the work we were doing out there. So it was really, really amazing. And I grew that company to a point right up into the pandemic when everything kind of took a big halt in that industry. And it started to sort of get me to look elsewhere because I was so passionate and deeply in love with the entertainment industry. It was my dream, and I went out there and I did what I wanted. But then the pandemic came and it was like, oh, wow, this could all go away. So we were looking towards more sustainable solutions that were still tied into what my background was in entertainment and marketing and advertising and things like that. So Freckle just kind of felt like a natural iteration.
So why NFTs? Why Web3? You're in the entertainment industry and COVID hits. Right. I'm a big NFT guy, but it's not, the most popular route.
Yeah. Well, the pandy was funny. I mean, pre-pandemic, I was working with an incredible engineer who became my co-founder, James Mock, on interactive and shoppable video content. And this is because we were creating tons of content for these brands, and the type of content really changed. It went from expensive, high production value to let's churn out as much stuff as humanly possible so we could just like flood social media with it. And then the advent of the UGC video, the user generated content, the influencer video, which essentially became the most organic form of product marketing. You've got a person you already know and love selling stuff to you. The problem was we realized that experience had a big wall in the middle with having to actually physically like swipe up, then go to a product page. So what we did was we eliminated all the friction and we created shoppable interactive video. And it was really cool. And it was a self-serve platform and it was doing really well. And we were raising money for it. Then the pandy hit, which was actually kind of good for that business because when the pandemic hit, every, grandma and mother, brother, sister was starting a small like DTC e-commerce business, which was a perfect client for us. So at the same time, though, Web3 was starting to get rolling. And to answer your question about why Web3, why NFTs. So a good friend of mine had asked me to speak at ETH Denver in 2020. And I spoke there on the future of blockchain advertising in the entertainment industry. And from there, I kept getting asked to speak at these things as like a KOL. And this was the first time I had ever really done this for, anything but entertainment. And it was very exciting. But I felt kind of like a poser because I'm on stage and I'm like, Web3 is the future, this, that, the other thing. It's all going to be on chain, yada, yada. Whether I wholeheartedly believed it all or not, I was just very excited, right? But I'm like, wait, I'm not professionally involved in Web3. My business is in Web3. It's not even tangential. So I looked at my partner and I said, we have to do something. We have to make a switch into it. And one thing sort of led to another, but that's kind of why we decided to move into NFTs, because I just kept getting asked to be a thought leader on it. And we saw this really interesting gap in an emerging market. And if you want to succeed in tech, you got to solve a problem in an emerging market. So we sought to do so.
Yeah, I love it, man. You're outstanding. You're an extremely talented individual. Why I wanted you on the podcast. And I've explored your website quite a bit. I've played some trivia. We've talked about it quite a bit. Tell me, just for the users that haven't gone to your website, don't interact with the daily trivia, kind of give us a breakdown how you get involved and what happens every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's super straightforward. We're a web-based app, so you don't have to actually download anything. You just go to a website. We've made it so that it works really well on all devices, all browsers, whether you're on the go or at home in the comfort of your house. It'll work on any tablet or phone or device, Android, iOS, doesn't matter. And we did that because we have players in 100 different countries playing every given week, which is an amazing thing. But obviously, like, we're not all going to have the same operating systems or the same internet requirements. So it's very straightforward. All you have to do is go to freckle.live. And right underneath the header video, you'll see just a bunch of episodes. And you can go ahead and play any of those. But every Monday through Friday, you can expect a new episode to become available. And as long as you play the new episode within a 24-hour period or before the next episode releases, you earn a raffle ticket. And those raffle tickets you can accumulate. And then you could go to our prize marketplace. You can visit prizes up top, and you can see all the amazing sponsored goodies that we have there for you. Creating an account is super easy. It feels like creating an account to any other, app or social media service. You could sign in with a phone number or a Gmail. We make you a wallet. You don't even realize it's happening. If you're one of our NFT pass holders, you can connect another wallet and then get your boosts and your bonuses and all your extras that you get for being one of our pass holders. But from anyone listening who wants to go play trivia, you can do it right now. As I'm speaking, depending on when this airs, there will be a new game for you to play right now. As long as you don't run it on a Saturday or a Sunday, this is true. You can hit pause, play trivia, come back and listen to the rest of the podcast at freckle.live.
Awesome. Well, definitely. I'm sure a lot of people are going to check it out. I'm going to frequent it quite often. What type of prizes are we talking? What can we win?
Yeah. So, I mean, we started off with NFTs. That was because we were predominantly focused on Web3. Things are changing, but we started to think about our audience and what they would like. And we didn't have a huge data set on these individuals. We knew they liked NFTs and we knew they liked trivia. So we boiled it down to these are people who are unique. They're niche. They're driven by niche things. And more than not, they're going to be collectors. Most NFT people I've met are a collector of something else, whether it was Pokemon cards heavy in middle school, sneakers right now. Hell, me and you were probably the age of Pogs. I had Pogs out the ass.
I did too.
Sleeves and sleeves of Pogs and Slammers. I mean,
Slammers.
Yeah. And Pogs is doing an NFT. We've talked to them. I thought it was too funny. What a blast from the past that was. But anyway, we started off with NFTs, and then we started to think about our community as collectors. Collectors and consumers. And we started to approach brands that had maybe gotten their feet wet or dabbled, if not jumped headfirst into Web3, because we knew the pitch would be a little bit easier. So right now, if you go into the prize pool, there's everything from NFTs ranging in value from, $50 NFTs all the way to $2,000 NFTs. We've got some CyberKongs in there. We partnered with Dell and they hooked us up with an Alienware gaming computer. So that's a pre-release item. So technically, if you go to the marketplace, you can't see that item unless you're one of our pass holders. But it will pop up and you'll be able to win that. And then little things. We partnered with Funko Pop and Diamond Select and these really amazing toy companies like McFarlane. I mean, I love toys. Here, I'll show off. This is Batman from this year's Comic-Con. That's a McFarlane exclusive, the Nightfall Batman, the one where Bane breaks him over his knee. So yeah, we waited in line for that. But we speaking of Comic-Con, so many of our sponsors actually we close at Comic-Con because that is the perfect representation of who would play our game. There are people who love games. There are people who they live and die by games. They're fandom to the max, right? And they If they like something, they love it and they support it. And we know that if we start working with companies that resonate with these individuals, it's going to only strengthen our case all around, from the brand back to us and through the customer. It's a really cool B to B to C relationship that we're establishing. And that really is the value prop. It's, you know, for you as an audience member, you get all these amazing prizes, you know, but for us, we're helping you establish a better relationship with that brand through the process of giving and receiving, as opposed to a paying and taking. And that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of like Web3 and NFTs. I say it all the time. It's a way for these big companies, these big brands to integrate with their loyal fan base. You know, if it's Starbucks, if it's DraftKings, or if it's a small mom and pop, it's a way to reach out, integrate with your community, integrate with your fans, and have some fun with it. And that's why, again, I keep saying it, but I like just love your platform, because you've kind of reset the standard of gamification and what you can do with NFTs and getting the community involved in some sort of competition. What type of trivia? I know I've seen like sports and entertainment, but can you give the audience an idea of what trivia they're going to see every day?
Yeah, so it used to be pretty varied. Like every week we would just rotate a new topic. But now we kind of re-standardized our programming, and we have a more consistent programming schedule now. So every Monday is Movie Mondays with your host, John Bailey, a.k.a. I can't do his voice, but it's the epic voice guy. He's the voice of Honest Trailers, and, you know, he does all these impressions of Ryan Reynolds and stuff. He's an amazing, amazing guy. So he does Movie Mondays. Then we have Giuliano Hodges, who's an amazing, amazing guy. I worked with him years ago on some influencer content that we were creating for like Awesomeness TV and stuff. And I would say he's got a hilarious TikTok and just this effusive and exuberant personality. Him and I obviously get along pretty well. And I asked him to do it, and he came on. So he does Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So Tuesdays is sports or music that rotates. Wednesdays is all around the world trivia. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's geography based, but we ask questions about different countries and landmarks and things like that. Thursdays is one of my favorites. It's Freckle University. That's where we're taking your butt back to school, and we're doing trivia on rotating academic topics, English, lit, history, science, math, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And then Fridays, I come back because I used to host every single game. I hosted 320 of these games before stepping away. But Fridays, I come back and I host Freckle Fun, Freckle Fridays, TGIFF type of deal. And that's been fun because it gives something, it gives our audience members who like, they're kind of, some of them were kind of bent out of shape that I don't host them anymore. I think they kind of realize that it's a lot to, you know, run a business and then be in front of the camera and everything else. So I had to give it to somebody else. But depending on when this airs, the programming schedule could change. So at the end of September, middle of October, we're replacing some topics with new topics. So we still have Movie Mondays. We still have Freckle U, but now we have animals and food, replacing sports and all around the world, I think.
Okay, very cool. Tell me, you've mentioned a few times the passes, like the gold passes and the raffle tickets. How's that integrate with the community and the trivia daily?
Yeah, right. So seeing that we were a NFT or Web3 project, you know, it felt the right move to create some sort of subscription or tiered level system for users who, you know, were supporting us at different, say, financial levels. So instead of doing the subscription, we did, you know, NFT passes as a subscription, and we released a gold pass and a forever pass, pretty small collections of each. And our diehards, they scooped them up. And people are still kind of, you know, learning about the platform and realizing that there's a benefit to having these passes and, you know, kind of scooping them up here and there when they can. But the idea is that if you're our pass holder, you earn more tickets every day. And you get access to a lot of other things. So for example, as a non-pass holder, the most tickets you can earn in a week is 5. The most tickets you can earn in a month is 20. And so on and so forth. So that's not going to, I don't want to say exclude you from prizes, but it's certainly going to put you at a particular disadvantage to pass holders who, you know, may have been playing and holding their tickets for a while so they can get that one high value prize. The cool thing about the prize pool is anything you see in there, you can probably pretty much expect that we've got a couple of them in the back, right? So when one gets gone, don't get discouraged. Another one's going to come up, you know? Another one's going to come up. And we've, you know, since we started the new raffle system, we've had, you know, a couple dozen winners. It's been amazing. It's, you know, so.
So you said you did 300 episodes in a row. I remember every time I would tune in, man, you were just crushing it, and you're a great personality. So I could understand how the community is a little bummed out to lose you, but I know you have some great hosts now. But how long is Freckle? How long has the trivia been going? You did 320 episodes on your own. We're what, well over 400?
Yeah, I'd have to look. But we started May 4th, 2022. We partnered with Disney. We did this amazing live stream trivia event. And, you know, the dangling carrot to get everybody in was Disney hooked us up with tickets, all expenses paid, all inclusive to go to Disneyland. And they have the Galaxy's Edge Park, the Star Wars park. So May 4th is Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. So we did this amazing live stream event. You know, thousands of people joined from all over the world. And they were like, wow, this was an incredible experience. And this was very early in, you know, the Web3 hype train. And everyone was like, this was a clean, really, really amazing experience, not just for Web3, but in general. And that felt amazing. But we didn't really have much of a plan after that. We wanted to keep doing these live streams. And my partner, James, was like, we got to do something to keep engagement up on a daily basis. He goes, if I spun a platform up, you know, that allows us to you know, just distribute shorter, smaller episodes daily, what do you think? And I said, that sounds great for now. Because it was never supposed to be what it is. And it turned out to be the mainstay of our entire platform because it performed so well, because we grew so well, so organic, and the response from the community was so amazing that we just continue to do daily trivia. So since end of May, because James is a rock star and spun up our entire platform in 2.5 weeks. Bless you, James Mock. And anyone listening to this, he's in the market. Go get him. Yeah, ever since then, every Monday through Friday, we've done a trivia game, and I only stepped away about 2 months ago. So I did about 300 episodes before we rolled everything over. Yeah, and now I'm just doing them once a week.
All right. So I'm lucky enough. I win one of these prizes. I'm geeked. How do you distribute the prizes to the winners? How's that work out?
Yeah, it actually used to be such a pain in the butt, but with the new platform and user profiles, like everything is totally revamped and it all happens inside of the platform. So when you go to freckle.live and you play your first game, do sign up for an account because obviously we have to store your raffle tickets somewhere. If you play the game without creating an account, at the end, we'll prompt you to create. We'll say, hey, do you want to earn these tickets or not? Create an account. It's pretty simple. So if you go to the prize marketplace and you see a prize that you like and you submit it and you wait for the countdown timer and you win that prize, you'll get a little notification in the top corner where your little profile picture is. And you'll click that, the drop-down menu, and it'll say, you won a prize. And you'll click on that, and it'll bring you to a page where it'll show you all the prizes that you've won in the past, and then this current one, and it'll let you click it and reject or redeem it. Why you would reject it, I don't know, but if you reject it, then it rolls over and the next person gets picked. If you accept it, it brings you to a claim page where then you would either enter in your wallet address if it's an NFT airdrop, or your mailing address if it's a physical product that we or our sponsors need to mail to you. And it all happens in the platform. Man, before we did this whole dance where like it was in Discord and you had to verify in Discord. And that's like, that was so complex. And to Web3, we were just like, no. Well, we redesigned the whole platform 2 months ago and we built it, you know, back up from the ground up. And that was a big focus, was making it easy to get in, easy to create an account, and everything happens in the platform now. Discord is just is a supplemental experience now. It is not something you need to be involved to get the full Freckle experience, in my opinion.
So everybody, everything you need is just to go to the website. You can get everything set up there. You can put in your phone number, email address. You don't really need to be savvy with Ethereum or crypto or anything along those lines. You can get started just playing fun trivia. And if you're lucky enough to win or get some raffle prizes, that's all taken care of on your platform.
Yep, it all happens really seamless and smooth. Obviously there's cogs working in the background, but to you, to the audience, no, it's a super smooth experience. Play every day, earn your tickets, spend them when you want or don't, and then win prizes. And it's entirely free, I should mention. Like, as somebody who didn't buy one of our passes or just wants to play and create an account and play every day, that's free. We've created something completely free for anybody.
Awesome. So you mentioned earlier that, offline, actually, we're talking a little bit about your social media and just driving your social media with Freckle trivia. Talk to me about that. What are you doing to...
Yeah. So, I mean, as well as I do, there's really only two places that Web3 people live. I mean, I guess three, and it's Twitter. That's the big one. That's, crypto Twitter, Web3 Twitter. There's Discord, where, your individualized communities of these projects are. And then there's Telegram, which is kind of like a mix of everything and mostly like a lot of people from overseas, because it's the best way for them to communicate with people not overseas. I found all three of these platforms to be extraordinarily frustrating at the beginning. I had never used Discord before, and I didn't have a personal Twitter or a business Twitter before starting Freckle. So those were very, very new things to me. What wasn't new was Instagram. I have a pretty big audience on Instagram. I've worked with Instagram influencers. Obviously, we created technology to support UGC commerce and shoppable social media content. So I have a pretty good understanding of that. So we worked really hard to build up our Twitters, our Telegrams, our Discords, and we did a great job. We reached tons of amazing communities. Like, we grew our Twitter account to 35, 40K or whatever in like a year. Our Discord to 7,000 strong active community members. Like, we're pumped. We're very happy about that. But now we're only servicing those people. The Twitter is caught in a bubble. The Discord is in itself intrinsically a bubble, which is fine. That's it's a bubble you create for people. So what's left to do? How do we reach people that aren't on Twitter and Discord, like the non-crypto people, the people that are honestly most important? Because if you look at crypto, the crypto community, or people who actually have or own NFT or cryptocurrency, they're a speck of galaxy dust in the cosmic universe, compared to all the other people who don't have those things, right? Mm-hmm. You got to reach those people, because this game that we've created is not just for Web3 people. It actually is not for any specific person. It's for anybody who likes trivia. And that's anyone from, your know-it-all 12-year-old cousin, all the way to your 70-year-old grandma. Like, we have those exact audience avatars playing every day. We have a 70-year-old grandma, and we have a 12-year-old who plays with their mom. We've created an amazing family-friendly experience. So the goal with our social media, of course, is just cast a wider net and open our arms back to a community that I guess we kind of purposely alienated, because being so Web3 focused was what felt like the most important. But now what's the most important for anyone who uses our platform is that we get more people play. That's what's going to benefit everybody is the more people who play, the more people who win prizes, the bigger and more prizes we can get, the better advertisers and sponsors that can come. It's one of those tough things where you create a platform that you can win something through, right? But then we're like, hey, tell your friend about it. You're like, I don't want to tell my friend, because that's going to lessen my chances of winning, right?
Competition, yeah.
Right. Well, so we have a referral program where you earn raffle tickets for referrals. That's nice. Right. But also, every player that comes in is another, member of the audience that I can then say to a bigger brand and a bigger brand and a bigger brand, and bring more stuff to the table for you, for the viewers. And that's the goal always for me. I want to do this so everybody feels like they have a fair chance to win. So everybody wins something. And so everybody has a good time doing it and never feels like they're getting gamed or taken or anything like that, because it's meant to be fun. That's why it's free. Yeah. So with our socials, it's really trying to emphasize that. And we're heading over to Instagram and we're heading over to TikTok now. And Alex, who you've met, he's a rock star. He really took the social media stuff like under his purview, and he's been crushing it. So he's growing the Instagram and the TikTok and the YouTube and still maintaining the Twitter, doing it all. But these street trivias is where we're finding a lot of success and traction. Kind of going up to people on the street and asking them a couple questions so they can win one of our sponsored prizes, right? And you can't see, but back there I've got a whole box from one of our sponsors at Figpin. They make these awesome physical digital enamel pin collectibles. They're like very popular amongst the collecting community. So we've got like 100 of those back there, and we could give them out. Hey, for a Figpin, can you tell me, an answer a trivia question? And that stuff does well on TikTok. I've even got the mic, so but that's been the goal. We started that initiative at Comic-Con. We had a table outside of the convention area. We were doing all this street trivia. And like I said, a lot of our sponsors and partners are inside Comic-Con. So we were going in there, getting some toys and prizes. And we were getting toys and prizes and going outside and giving them away to kids and their parents for answering trivia questions. And it was amazing. I see my cameras doing some funky stuff now.
Yeah. Well, we're just here to listen to you, my man. You got some good information here. I love hearing about it. So tell me a little bit about like the future of NFTs, the future of like gamification using NFTs. Are you a believer? Do you think we're going to stay in a bear market forever? What are your macro thoughts?
Man, it's been a bummer of a week in terms of for me personally. It's really going to come down to how I'm feeling at any particular given time. Some days I am just so bearish, I don't want to get out of bed. That's not true. But some days I'm so bullish that I'm actually looking at charts again, right? It's not going to last forever because it never does. I think the overall concern is that even some of the strongest people who are propping up and supporting the community are becoming disinterested because they're not making the money that they were before. And that sucks. That to prop something up you believe in is something that you have to benefit out of monetarily. That stinks. I love surfing. I don't get any monetary benefit out of that. I'm passionate about that, like no one's paying me to go hit the waves every morning, but at the same time, with NFTs, it became a culture. It became a hobby. It became part of pop culture. It became people's businesses, lives, careers. So I think the definition of bearish or bullish is really going to come from the perspective that you're in at any given moment. But I will say the sentiment's down. This week was a bummer of a week for me. It's not all wins and rose-colored glasses over here, unfortunately. We're running a business in a novel industry that's kind of been on a downward trend, and there's nothing we can do about that other than stay the course. We believe we have the right course. We're heading in the right direction, and that's all we can do. Is set our course and just navigate the tough waters. And I'm using sailing terms now because I like sailing, but yeah.
Big water guy, surfing, sailing, wherever we can get you on the water, eh?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I love the ocean. I love the water. I love the freedom that it gives. And there's really nothing quite like sailing out of all of those things, but
never been. Need to come out on that sailboat one day.
Hey, anytime you're out here, you let me know. You're more than welcome. It's a really nice time. It's work. People don't fully realize they're like, because people who have been on like pontoon boats or speed boats, they sit in the little leather couch and, but when you're sailing, it's like, you got to pay attention because at any moment, like you could be in that water.
Oh, it sounds fun. I'm not a big boat guy. Well, I like going on boats, but I'm not going to be, if you start asking me certain questions about the boat and mechanics of it, I'm probably not your guy.
So if I ask you to swing the jib starboard and ease the sheet, you're going to look at me like I might as well just jump off the boat now.
I'm about to call the police with whatever you just said to me. To be completely honest with you, we might have to cut that part out. HR nightmare right here.
Some foul language I just used right there.
Well, I think like your macro view on NFTs is a good assessment. I'm the same way. Like some days I feel super bullish. Other days I feel bearish with some of the negative news that comes out just with crypto and NFTs. But it does seem like we're just chopping and stay the course, stay on the path, and it's going to work out well. One thing I've noticed, and this is even when my time at DraftKings and now coming over here, is that we've seen a lot more, even though we're in a bear market like everyone wants to claim, and maybe people aren't flipping JPEGs and NFTs and animal pictures for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But we've noticed a lot of major big brands, Web2 brands, come into the space, and just they're inquiring more and more every day, just ways to incorporate kind of what we were talking about earlier, incorporate their fans and their community. So I'm excited to see how that world comes together, but there's going to be some growing pains, just like in any innovation.
No, absolutely. And for context, I will say that I was never one of those people who were flipping, monkey kitty pictures for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I was actually a little late to the game in terms of traditional the more traditional PFP NFTs. So it was not something that I got into. I don't like to, put money in things I don't fully understand. So at the time I was like, this is crazy. I understand that money's to be made here, but this is a little insane. So I'd rather, look at what the underlying technology is and build from the infrastructure. And I think that's what the big brands are doing. Some of them are like, okay, cool, hype. We can make $1 million in an afternoon. Like Zynga yesterday made like $1 million in an afternoon. That's cool. Zynga doesn't need to make $1 million in an afternoon, but it's like neat that they can then say, whoever's driving that Web3, initiative can say, hey, look, here's the KPI. Like we made $1 million in an afternoon, so we can keep doing this. Did Zynga need to call it an NFT to sell that? Probably not at all, right? And that's, I think, the power of the brand. And I think all of these Web3 projects, great ones that I've worked with, I'm not going to name any, right? They won't be around, and because they can't sustain. They can't wade through waters that are tumultuous and don't have a set path, because eventually the resources run out or they burn out and they sink. And the brands have the too big to fail money. They can afford to fuck it up now and screw it up tomorrow and screw it up a month from now, because they have the money to try again and say, oh, that didn't work. We'll do a do-over. And no one's going to look back and hate on this brand in 10 years for having a failed NFT drop. It's not going to happen. It's just because it's going to feel so organic, the way that you are interacting with the brands that are doing it the right way. You're not going to feel any type of way about it because they've done it so well in a way that you're not supposed to feel any type of way about it. It's like walking into a store or buying something online. It's going to feel just as that's the transaction, right? But it's just going to be done in Web3. So the brands that are going to do it right are going to do it based on your loyalty, the fact that you like us and that you want to support us, and knowing that if it doesn't work out, they can always try again later. And I've heard them say that. I've heard that from like an Adidas. If this doesn't work out, we're Adidas. We can do something later.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just being in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's an interesting take. I like that. That's some projects I've been evaluating. If they have a big brand backing them, the Nikes, the Adidas, the Starbucks, there's definitely opportunity there in the NFT world, because they're going to have staying power. Just like you said, it's not just like a small PFP project that was hyped during the bull market and now they're struggling with their treasury. There's a major multi-billion-dollar brand behind it. I do have one more question for you. I'm really excited to get to is talk to me a little bit about the future here. Talk to me about some partnerships, some sponsorships. What do you have coming on in the future?
Okay. I love it. Yes. So we're building our next game. We wanted it to be built and released already, but getting the new platform ready was a whole rigmarole. So we're building our next game. We're calling it WTF. What the F is that? And it's going to exist on like its own separate website, part of the Freckle, TV ecosystem. You're still going to earn raffle tickets and earn things that are part of the prize pool and stuff like that. But it's a completely new game. It's even shorter than daily trivia. I'm not going to get into exactly, the mechanics of the game. I will just say that it's a lot of fun and you could play it in 60 to 90 seconds every day. It's going to be extremely competitive because the way that we're doing the scoring system, it is impossible to cheat. It is impossible to bot. And we think that it is going to be one of the most marketable formats to brands, just because the nature of how the game works is just perfect for organic product placement. And that's what I'm most excited about. We're gearing up for Basel. It seems like we'll be doing something out there with Avagachi and the Crypto Goons, both of whom you know very, very well. Yeah. Our man Drewby, love you, Drewby. Shouts out to Drewby, who I think kind of connected us also.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're gearing up for another live stream, and I don't know when this is going to air, right? So it might be perfect timing. It might be a little early, but we did partner with Carnival Cruise, and we were supposed to do a live stream over the summer. It just didn't work out that way. So we're trying to get it in for the Christmas season so we could send 4 people on a Carnival Cruise. And that's like the big, virtual event goal that we're driving at right now.
Man, I need some people from Real Talk NFT to win this Carnival Cruise. Really, really.
They all go.
Yeah, exactly. I need some sort of referral bonus ticket if somebody does.
Yeah, well, someone was like, well, if I win, can I give one of the tickets to Lord Trivia? And I was like, you don't want to go on a cruise with me, man. Take your family, you silly man.
They know how much you love water and sailing and boats. Next thing you know, you're going to be the captain of that cruise ship.
That's it, dude. I'm so nautical, dude. I love it. But yeah, the future looks bright. The sentiment in the market is tough, but like I said, we're no longer seeing that as a pitfall because there's a lot of other people out there. The sentiment will always come back. So we'll swing back to it. And, the people who fell out of it will come back and they'll get excited about it again. But by then, hopefully it won't matter to us because we've now brought in a stable of players from outside the Web3 world. And that's it.
Awesome. So it's super exciting stuff. Ian, thank you for joining us today. I'm definitely going to drop all the links down below. So anybody listening to the podcast, you can go on Freckle TV. You can play the trivia. Remember, it's free. He's absolutely crushing it in this space. I would love to hear everyone's experiences. Throw some comments in the video. Let us know what you think of it. But Ian's a stud in the industry. We really appreciate you joining, and hope you have a great day, man.
Hey, man, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You're going to drop all the links, but I'll say right now, you could play trivia at freckle.live. You could follow us at Freckle TV on Twitter, on TikTok. Twitter is Freckle Trivia. Instagram is Freckle Trivia. I'm working on it, guys. He'll drop all the links in the bottom, but I think one of the most important things that you can actually do besides signing up for an account and playing is signing up for our newsletter. I know you're probably tired of all these newsletters that you get all the time, but ours is really good. We don't send them very often, but when we do, it's full of very important information that if you care even just a little bit about what we got going on, you'll want that because we're going to tell you when that Alienware gaming computer is available for raffles. We're going to tell you when the next big event is. We're going to let you know if there's like a special day where we're giving out hundreds of raffle tickets to random users for playing on that day. We run these specials. You're going to want to know. So I'll give you the link, Brian, and we'll get it done.
I need to sign up. I'm not on the newsletter. Dropping the ball there.
I'm surprised I didn't just sign you up automatically.
I'm not on it. So definitely need my Carnival cruise ship. So I'm going to be studying up on my trivia, and
let's go.
I'm going to be a force to recken with. I'll tell you that much. But
I believe it. You're a smart guy. I'd put you on my trivia team. I bet you know more about sports than I do.
I know a lot of stupid stuff. I'll be honest. I know a lot of random stuff. You get me on one of those bar trivia games. I'm like, oh yeah, you want me to name every member of the Full House cast, first, last name, every episode. I know a lot. So,
oh yeah, wait. How about what's? Here's a trivia question. What's the dog?
Oh shit!
I see. I can stump them. I can stump the best of them.
What is it? You got me.
Comet.
You Comet. I knew that. I knew that. The golden retriever, Comet. I knew that. I could see
it. You brought up Full House, and I'm like, oh, cool. I've got a Full House trivia question in my pocket.
And I blew it. Someone else is going on the cruise ship.
That's it.
You and me in a dinghy in San Diego.
I'm dead. That's amazing. But dude, seriously, thank you for having me. I think your new path sounds amazing. This podcast is excellent. I'm looking forward to just seeing all the guests that you have on. As well. And you have to let me know offline how to support, promote, get it to our community, our socials, all of that stuff. Because obviously this is what it's all about, baby.
Absolutely. My man, you're the best. Thank you. We'll have you on real soon. So take care.
Much love. Have a good one.
Thanks.